Alright, this is going to be a rambly behind the scenes video because this is, there's a lot to cover. First, let me just show you because I know I posted about this already, but I have now put it up on my wall. Thank you so much for making this possible. Bright blue color of these walls, by the way, is because originally, when I first painted my place, we went with an extremely vivid blue because I was going to try and use this as a blue screen. Problem though, this is like the ultra premium. Oh, by the way, I did not go to VidCon ever. I ordered something from DFTBA and ordered a mystery shirt. This was the mystery shirt I got. So apparently I was at the 3rd annual VidCon. I can lie about that now. Anyway, this bright blue color would be perfect for green screening, but this is a super premium ultra flat paint, what they call a scrubbable flat, which means it has a sheen. And in fact, if you look that way, you can kind of see there's like a sheen on there, which does not work when you're using point light sources because all of the footage I ever shot in front of this was not a matte blue. You can tell just on video that if there is no sheen, this is an incredibly uniform blue, and this would have been a great color for doing that. But because it's too shiny, it just didn't work, so I had to use a green screen anyway, so now I just have these very bright blue walls. But I like them anyway, so that's good. But anyway, what this video is about, I'm going to turn the camera around because there's a lot to show you. My place, by the way, is cleaner than it has been in ages, and what this video is about is my air conditioning. My air conditioning has always sucked. Now, I can tell you why it sucks, or at least I have a great theory as to why. My building, the air conditioners are what are called magic packs. So, if you go over to this wall where my stereo is, this is the air intake for the air conditioner. Behind this wall, in a closet on my balcony, I don't mean to be any of you are going to be a creeper, but if I show you what's outside my window too clearly, you could identify exactly where I live, so I apologize. But anyway, in that closet is one single device, which is both an air conditioner and a furnace. And it's a gas-fired furnace for heating in the winter, and it is a self-contained 2.5-ton air conditioner. Now, you would think that a 30,000 BTU air conditioner would be plenty for cooling my place because it's only about a little over 1,000 square feet, and only this wall, just this wall, faces outside. The ceiling, there's another unit above me. The floor, there's another unit below me. And on this side, of course, there's a hallway, and there are units to either side. So generally, when you have an apartment type scenario, you don't need a ton of cooling or heating capacity. And indeed, my furnace is only a 45,000 BTU furnace, and it can keep this place warm even on ridiculously cold days. So you would expect that a 30,000 BTU air conditioner would cool fine, but it doesn't. What happens is, and I'm sorry if you're getting seasick here, as my air conditioning runs, you'll hear the compressor kick on and off because it's overheating. Now, I suspect the reason why it's overheating is because the vent that is on the outside of the wall, the magic packs in this building are installed in a non-standard way. And it's a brick building, and on the side that faces outward, the hole in the brickwork is narrower than the width of the magic pack, and the magic pack is sitting a little bit back. So there's about a 6-inch or maybe 15-centimeter gap between the back of the air conditioner and the actual vent. So my theory is the exhaust or the condenser fan just cannot get the heat out of there, and as a result, the air conditioning overheats. So what happens every frickin' day, it gets above about 85 degrees outside, the air conditioning will run, and it will run constantly, and it will still get up to like 78, 79 degrees. And again, it's because the compressor keeps kicking off. And if you feel my air vents in the ceiling, it's never warm. It's always just tepid, or I'm sorry, it's never cold. It's always just tepid air, even when the compressor is running, because it can't get the heat out. So this was never a problem when I was working because I worked from 3 to 11. So I had my lovely programmable thermostat on a program where it would keep the place at like 73 from about midnight which is when I would get home usually, until 2 in the afternoon. And because my windows, because this is west, the afternoon sun would come in and the plate, so basically the air conditioning was always worse in the afternoon, but when I would get home, it would be fine. So, now that I'm here all day, I was getting really fed up with this bad air conditioning. And by the way, also my air conditioner is new. It's brand new. I had to buy a new one because the furnace component had bad corrosion. It was pointed out by my home inspector, and I was able to get a closing credit basically to purchase another furnace. So it's brand new. It's not the furnace's problem. And I've had the guys that installed the furnace, they've come out multiple times to check it, haven't found anything wrong. So it's definitely a design flaw of the building. And I've asked my neighbors, everybody has this problem. So I finally said, you know what? Portable air conditioners exist. I'm going to frickin' get one. The product that I found was on Costco, and I have thankfully my eBay return of the Pioneer LDW1 was successful. This is the best, this is the coolest thing, and I'd like to see this product be developed, or I'd like to see more companies make this product, because what this is a portable mini split system. So let's take a trip back to my bedroom and we'll explain why this is such a great idea. Okay, this is a standard portable air conditioner. Now, don't get me wrong, portable air conditioners are amazing things, but they're A, very loud, and B, not very efficient. And the reason why they're not super efficient is because their exhaust has to be blown outside out your window, which is fine. I figured out a solution to get it to work with my windows. But they're also, the reason why they're loud is because everything is in this machine. So when you turn it on, you'll notice there are 3 sounds that come on. You're going to hear the blower fan come on first, then the exhaust fan, and then the compressor. So just take a listen to how loud this gets. So now it's running. Hopefully, I hope the camera didn't get too much wind noise. We'll find out. I'll reshoot this if I need to. But now it's running, and it cools effectively. There's no doubt about that. But the reason why they're not efficient is because, for one thing, this hose is getting hot because the exhaust air is going through this hose. So this hose is getting hot. But more importantly, it's got 2 air intakes. This is the air that it's cooling, so it's going in here. But this air intake is sucking air in and blowing it outside. That's how it's cooling the condenser. So for all the cool air that it generates, it's also pulling in air from somewhere else. So it may be pulling air in, through the gaps in the walls. It might be pulling air in from the hallway. It might be pulling air in from like the bathroom. But it's pulling air in from outside. So it's by default not going to be as efficient because it has to fight its own exhaust intake to cool everything off. Now I've set this up in my bedroom because really I just wanted to be able to sleep comfortably, and I normally take the hose out because I live in a condo building and it's always, I don't think anyone would ever be mad about this, but just in case I only have that in the window when I need it. But let me turn this back off. So I don't want to knock portable air conditioners. They're great things and they're pretty inexpensive. This was about half as much as the thing from Costco was. But the thing from Costco, which I have the box over here, this company is Canadian. I realize the box is sideways, but it is a portable mini split system. So the condenser and the compressor actually go outside, and there's coolant lines that go between the indoor evaporator unit and the outside unit. So what this means is that the compressor is outside. The only parts that are inside are basically the fan and the evaporator. So this unit is A, very small, B, very quiet, and C, allows the machine to be more, in fact it just switched on, allows the machine to be more compact, at least on the inside. One downside, which you'll hear, that some people complained about, but is super, super minor, is you hear this high-pitched hissing noise as the refrigerant moves. If you can hear that. Some people complained about that, but for my case, I'm like, it keeps me comfortable, so I don't care. But so let me show you, when the unfortunate thing about this company, Forest Air, is that they did not, their website was so, or not their website, the documentation they provide in the manual so you can look and see how this works is so weak. And it was very confusing to figure out how this would work, because they don't mention, does this unit plug into power or does the unit outside plug into power? They don't mention how the condensate is dealt with, because this is going to have water collecting in it, so how does the water get out of the unit? They didn't mention anything like that. Thankfully, it's perfect. So for anybody that needs anything like this, let me walk you through how it works. The power, this is the only thing that plugs in. So there are power lines going through this hose, or a power cable going through this hose connecting to the outside unit. Now we can go outside and take a look at the outside unit. Oh, I gotta move the thing. So the outside unit is completely self-contained, and you can see it's not plugged into power, even though I had a power outlet here. That's why I was comfortable buying it, because if this needed to be plugged in, there's a power outlet right there. But most importantly, there is a condensate pump and and it came with a condensate line attached. So all I needed to do was extend this hose, and that hose is actually going back inside, following along the door, and then this is the magic pack. So this is what's supposed to be able to cool my place off, but can't. Then what I did was I ran the hose back into this closet through the vent, the air intake vent, and looped it into the drain for this air conditioner. So the condensate for the new machine is able to go where it's supposed to go and not just drip down the balcony, which was my main concern. I don't hate magic packs. I think that if they're installed correctly, they're a great idea. But the biggest annoyance about them is they're just ridiculously expensive. This cost me, I didn't even get all my money back because of the closing credit. This was about $5,000 to have installed, which is absurd because you always see specials in my area for like a new furnace and air conditioner for like maybe $2,000, like a split system with a furnace. And you would think that this unit would be even easier to install because it's one box. All you have to do is hook it up to, you know, the output air. In my case, it's just sitting on a concrete, basically a stand, so there isn't even an intake to hook up, and then hook it up to the gas line and power. So it just really frustrated the hell out of me when I found out how expensive these are, because they're very much plug and play. There's not a lot of work to do. But I will say they're ridiculously heavy because the entire air conditioning system is right in this bottom half. This whole thing weighs about 500 pounds, so you can slide out the air conditioning component, but still you need two very strong people to be able to get this. And also, again, a design flaw of my building, this door has to come off to actually get this unit in and out because it barely fits in here. And the reason why is because whatever genius designed this building ran the gas line. You can see it here. So the furnace can't get any more to the left. That was just really dumb thinking on their part, but I'm stuck with it. But anyway, the other perfect thing is that it comes with a kit to install with the patio door. So I could tell generally well enough that this would work, and I'm so happy it does. And I would like more companies to make a product like this because it currently looks like only this Canadian company, Forest Air, is making it. And don't get me wrong, the design is not perfect. There are things I don't like about it. For one thing, I don't understand why the output vent is so small. It would seem to me if they made it along the whole width of the machine, it could be quieter. I mean, the machine is quiet, but definitely there's more air noise than I think would be necessary. This is an extremely minor annoyance, but if the fan is on high, you won't be able to see it quite well because this is multiplex, but this animation is very erratic. It doesn't, this is like the most minor of complaints, but it doesn't spin correctly. Some of the colors like flash too frequently, only on high though. But it's just, I love this thing, and I want more companies to make it because this is like the best of both worlds. I know that not everyone has, like, if you don't have a balcony, or you don't have, like, if you're on the second floor and you don't have a balcony, there's really no easy way to mount the condenser part of it. But this is a great product. I love it. I seriously, like, I hope this doesn't sound like an endorsement because I don't even know who the hell this company is. But I bought it, like I said, I bought it kind of not sure how this works because, again, they didn't say where it plugs in. This is the unit that plugs in. It's plugged in to an adapter because, unfortunately, here the left plug is on a light switch. That's how these lights are turned on, so only that right plug actually has power. And don't worry, it's a 15 amp adapter. It's fine. The unit only pulls about 10 amps. I'm pretty smart around electricity safety, I think. But this is just, I love it. I love it. I wanted to tell you about it because finally I'm living comfortably. And the most annoying thing about the Magic Pack was that because it was overheating, my power bills, if there's a hot July, my power bill would approach $200 and I wasn't even comfortable. And just this one unit, which is using only about 10 amps on one 10 volts versus about 25 on 208. So it's using about a quarter, when it's running, it uses about a quarter of the energy in the Magic Pack. Just this one unit can cool off my living room, dining room, and kitchen because it's all one big space. It can cool it off almost completely by itself. When the sun is coming in, the Magic Pack will come on to help it. But most importantly, it's working. So I wanted to thank you all for allowing me to buy this because it was expensive. But the good thing is I got my money back for the Pioneer LDW1, and this cost pretty much exactly as much as I spent. So in the end, it worked out fine. But anyway, I really would like LG or some other bigger company to make this idea. I don't know if Forest Air has a patent on it or anything. It would seem like kind of unpatentable because it's really just a mini split system. It's just portable. And the other thing I should mention, you can separate the lines. The lines have quick connect fittings, so if you wanted to run the hose like through a wall, you can do that. I'm not really sure. The one thing that is not explained at all is how the condensate gets from this unit to the outside unit. Because the diagrams that show you disconnecting this hose, they show the power cables and they show the compression, the high pressure refrigerant lines, but they don't show a water line. So it almost seems like just this hose, this sheath fills up with water, and there's a pump on the outside unit that just sucks it out as it gets full. So that's not really explained at all, but it does work. And the other flaw, the reason why it's not a towel, it was super, super humid the other day, and the entire back side of this was getting wet, and it pooled up on this table, which is why it's great that it's on an $8 lac table, but I also don't want it hitting the carpet. And it wasn't huge or anything, but this towel is just catching any extra water. So the other reason I'd like more companies to make it is because I bet they could perfect it. But anyway, I didn't know if you knew this product exists. Probably none of you need one, but I love it, and I wanted to show you about it. I wanted to thank you for funding its purchase, and also thank you for allowing me to finally spend afternoons in my home without burning up, not living with stupid humidity, stupid heat, because the great thing about the American Midwest, for those of you who don't know, we get very cold winters, very hot summers, so we get the worst of both worlds. But anyway, now I'm finally able to deal with it. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll see you at some point with another very lengthy, rambly, fun thing, hopefully. Bye!